This is Family Time 180. This is our last family time for this school year. Wanted to wrap things up before it's our seniors last week. Typically, what I do for the final family time of the year is kind of give some final advice to the seniors, sort of a last lesson while I'm still getting a chance to work with all of you as a teacher and a coach, that sort of thing. A lot of times I do kind of a long list of sort of just random things that I think that I want to make sure you know before you go out into the world. But really, I was trying to think of, okay, what are some things that I genuinely believe? I believe all the things that I say, but if I'm trying to really whittle things down to like these are for my perspective universal truths that like if I've learned anything in life, what have I learned at this point? And I tried to kind of compress it down into three umbrella topics. And the first thing is self-control. I believe in self-control deeply. We talk about it a lot. We say it a lot in sports. Control what you can control. But the fact of the matter is, you can only really control yourself. That's the one thing you have control over. We spend so much time worrying about stuff that doesn't really matter, or at the very least is outside of our control. We worry about circumstances. We worry about other people's opinions. We can't control those things. And unfortunately, when we worry about things we can't control, we put ourselves into a state of trauma that's often sort of make believe. I often go back to that Stoic line. I think Seneca said it. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. And I think that's true. We spend so much time worrying about things that have not happened yet, that may never happen, or things that already happened and can't be changed. And we waste a lot of time and energy. We waste a lot of our lives worrying about those things. And I can tell you, life is too short and too precious to waste any of it. So don't waste your time worrying about things outside of yourself. Focus on what you can control. A great way to start controlling yourself, taking charge of your life, is to focus on your character. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be people who don't like you. But what others think of you is not who you are. Who you are is your character. That's a matter of your values. Be clear about your core values. That's something we talk about in class, but be clear about your core values. If someone came up to you and asked you, what are your core values? What are your deepest beliefs about existence and how you should conduct yourself? You should be able to say. You shouldn't have to stop and think about it because that governs how you make all of your decisions in life. If you're clear about your values, then even when things go wrong, when you have to make difficult decisions, you can fall back on what really matters. You can fall back on who you truly are, and you'll still be able to look yourself in the mirror. Even when you feel like you've fallen behind or you've made a mistake, if you've done so, trying to live by your values, it's the best you can do, and you can move forward. That helps you be strong. And I believe in strength. I'm a big proponent of strength, physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength. So you have to work to make yourself stronger. I really think that's the best way to protect yourself, to protect others. And I don't mean you have to be callous or cold. I don't mean that at all. In fact, it's often the opposite. being emotionally aware, being clear about how we feel about things, being compassionate towards others. Those things are harder to do. And you get strong by doing difficult things, by doing things that are uncomfortable. That's important. Anything you want in life, you will achieve it through work, through discipline. We worry, again, so much about making the right decision instead of making our decisions right. When you commit to something, commit to it and put in the work. Show up and go to work. That's what will make change in your life. That'll get you where you want to go. Not worrying, not wishing, not hoping, putting in the work. And lastly, under self-control, it's important to recognize that you are responsible for your own happiness. That's a hard one. A lot of times we attach our happiness to something else, to some external motivator, to another person. And it is great to have other people in our lives, people who bring us up, people who cheer us up, people who make us happy, people who love us. That's a good thing. Surround yourself with people you love, but you are always responsible for your own happiness. You are always responsible for advocating for yourself. And if there's a situation or a relationship that is not feeding you, that is holding you back, you're the one who has to make a change. You can't wait for someone else to make the change for you. And if you do that, if you do those things and you take care of yourself, you focus on self-control, then you can start to look outward. You have to take care of yourself so you can help other people. And that's the next thing I really believe in life, is you need to serve. If you're only looking out for yourself, it's going to be very difficult to find whatever you're seeking. Whether that's financial success, career success, whether that's friendship, respect, love. If you're only seeking those things for yourself, for selfish reasons, it's very, very difficult to find those things. You have to put into the world what you want to get out of it. So if you want more career success, figure out a way to help other people with their career. Figure out a way to be of value in your career. If you want stronger friendships, be a better friend. Work to be a good friend. And those bonds will find you. If you want love and joy and happiness, you have to put those things into the world. You have to lead with those things. And they'll come back to you. That's really the only way it works. You might once in a while selfishly be able to grab something, but it's often going to be hollow, going to be empty. You have to put into the world what you want to get out of it. And when you're serving other people, you have to empathize. That's something we lose too often, that we see opposing viewpoints. We label people as other and different than us. We dehumanize people instead of taking time to try to understand how they're thinking, how they're feeling, to try to recognize their experiences. Empathy is, for my estimation, the greatest of human potential and the greatest human pursuit. We can never truly know how someone else feels. But if we can try to see things from their perspective, if we can try to acknowledge how they feel, it gives so much to us, and it it solves so many other problems. It takes away so many other toxic feelings that we might have. And if you can do those things, if you can try to put into the world what you want, you can try to empathize with other people, then you can truly lead. And we need leaders. It's tough to be a leader. Leaders are not always liked. In fact, if you're leading effectively, not everyone is going to love what you're doing. It's hard. It can be lonely sometimes, and loneliness is the most difficult, the most challenging emotion, so far as I can tell. But we need leaders. It's important to be able to cut your path and bring people with you, to elevate other people, to set an example. Whether that's in business, in a relationship, in your family. Someday when you have your own children, you need to lead. And you need to lead through those things you're taking care of, your core values, your character, your work ethic, your service to other people. And the last thing that I hope you understand and take with you through the rest of your life beyond this place, and I think this is maybe the most important thing that I have learned in my entire life, is just never give up. That sounds so simple, and it is. It is hard, but just don't ever give up. No matter what, don't tap out, don't ring the bell, because you never know. I have had times in my life where I thought it would be a lot easier to be dead than to be alive. I have had a lot of physical and mental and emotional challenges. And I've had a lot of times where I thought things were not going to get better. And then they do. And then something changes. You get one opportunity. You get one lucky break. You find one right person. You never know how your life is going to go. And that's the hardest thing for you seniors going out into the world. There's so many opportunities, so many possibilities, but there's also a lot of scary things out there. And whatever you think your life is going to look like after you leave this place, it won't go exactly that way. Some things will, a lot of things won't. And that's okay. But don't ever give up. As long as you're still breathing, there is still the opportunity for change. Seek help when you need it. Talk to other people, but don't give up. You might go down the 100th path, still looking for what you really want in life. And you finally find it. And understand that everything you did before was important. Every failure, every hardship, everything you tried and decided wasn't for you, that brought you closer to your actual purpose, your sense of peace. Don't ever give up. It is, as always, my great privilege to work with all of you. I appreciate every one of you. I always say I'm one of the very rare people who gets to come to a job they love every day. Most people don't get to do that. That's because of all of you. Thank you to the seniors for everything you bring into my life and to our school and our community. You always have a home here. And if you ever need anything, we still have your back. I shall have your back. That doesn't change when you leave this building. Much love.